In this episode, we're going to talk about the if statement. The if statement is a conditional statement that can be added into your scripts in order to add complexity to your task execution. The purpose of the if statement is to execute some code based on whether a condition is true or false. How you create the condition is entirely up to you. It's common to use the test condition, so you can read the manual pages for the test command, and it shows you all kinds of condition that you can use to create your conditional statements. This is, again, an integer check of a variable, the string check of a variable, checking the existence of a certain variable. This could be checking the existence of a file or a directory. There are many types of tests that you can do inside your if statement outside of simple variable checks. Now, if that condition is meant to be true, then whatever code you are executing after that condition will be executed only if the condition that you set is true. Otherwise, if there is some other condition, then you can execute some other piece of code. So this really allows you to create that decision tree inside your scripts that really take your script to one place if there's a certain condition being met, or to another place if there is some other condition that is being met. And again, based on these conditions, you can execute certain pieces of code. And again, if all the conditions that you state happen to be false, then again, you can have a fallback that's in the form of an else statement. And finally, you can close off this decision tree structure by this backwards if or phi. So as an example, it can look something similar to checking the variable integer check. So here, the test minus GE simply means greater than or equal to. To get a real idea of all the different tests, again, I encourage you to go through the test condition manual pages to get an idea of how many different types of tests exist. Again, this is just one of them where you're checking an integer value to see if it's greater than or equal to 18. Then you can execute a certain piece of code. And if that condition happens not to be true, then again, you are executing another piece of code. And to close off this condition check, you can exit the if statement with a backwards if or phi. So coming up in the next lab, we're going to show you how to put together an if statement that is relevant to your script in order to execute certain pieces of code inside your script based on the value of a condition or based on the outcome of your condition. If the outcome is true, one code will execute. But if the outcome is false, then some other code will execute. This gives you real control on task execution inside your scripts. Let's go ahead, move forward to the lab to see how to put together your if statements. In this episode, we're going to talk about using if statements to add complexity to your scripts. An if statement is really an evaluator. It evaluates a condition, whether the condition is true or false. You can also think of it as a test. It's evaluating a test condition, whether it's true or false. And based on if it's true, outputs one thing, and if it's false, outputs something else. So really, that's what the if statement is. I would encourage you to actually read through the test command that is used inside if statements that is able to check file types and compare values. Because a lot of times inside your if statements, you're doing exactly that. You're checking integer values, string values, or actually checking the input as to see if it is a file, if it is a directory, or specific file types. So test is a very easy way to see that, hey, if the person executing the script is entering a string, hey, is that string even entered? Did they put any input? Is the string equal to the answer? Is it not equal to the answer? And again, you can see integer comparison as well, such as greater than equal to. If you're, for example, checking an integer against something, you can check if it's greater than equal to, less than, not equal to. So a lot of different ways you can actually design your if statement. Now, how it works inside a script, let me show you. I'll create a new script file called script2, and at the top of the script, I will put my bin bash, as this script is made for bash. And here I'll put a comment that says asking for mark. And something that you can put in your script is the read parameter. What this is going to do is actually ask the user to enter the value for some variable. The -p will say what prompt we want to use, and we'll say enter your mark between 0 and 100. And this value will be equal to mark. So we are reading the mark variable using this prompt. The user is expected to type in the answer for the mark variable. And here we're going to use if statement to check if mark is above expectation. All right, so we're checking this mark variable. And of course, we're going to check the integer value to see where it lies between 0 and 100. So here we can put our first if statement. So you're going to put if, and then the condition that the if statement is actually checking is written inside a square bracket, and here is the test statement. So we're going to say that, hey, the value of the mark variable is greater than or equal to 70. That means the person has a mark greater than 70 or equal to 70. Then we can output or echo great job. All right, else if, so I'm typing elif, else if, and here you can put another condition that you are checking for. So we can say, hey, is mark greater than equal to maybe 50? So this person has 50% or so, then we're going to echo nice try. All right, and then finally, we're going to put else, meaning if those first two conditions are not met, then you simply echo you fail. So the mark is not greater or equal to 70. It's not in the 50 to 70 range, so it's not greater than equal to 50. That means it's less than 50. Therefore, we're going to output you fail. And to end this if structure, you just type if backwards, fi. All right. So this is how an if statement is able to, again, evaluate variables and evaluate a condition to really decide which way or what the program should do. So let's go ahead and run this. I'm going to save and quit. And now what this script file needs is the execute permission. I'm going to add that execute permission by typing chmod +x script2. And here I can run script2. And here it's saying enter a mark. I will enter the mark of 60. And it's going to say nice try, because that is where the condition is. Now, when I run it again, and this time I enter mark of 75, it's going to say great job, again, based on that if statement. And the third time I run it, let's say I enter 45, and it's going to say you fail. So this is covering how to design and use if statements inside your scripts. What will be useful to you is, again, that test command, which is how you are going to design that evaluation inside the if statement. And again, I'm encouraging you to read through the manual page to really get a good idea of how to use this test statements to then write your if statements and write your conditions inside your if statement. And that's it for if statements for now. I want to thank you for watching this episode, and I'll see you in the next one.